Hey everyone, and welcome. If you've ever felt like you needed a simple, no-nonsense guide to one of Canada's best retirement tools, well, you're in the right place. Today, we're going to break down the RSSP, the Registered Retirement Savings Plan, and we're using this awesome Investor's Edge cheat sheet to make it all crystal clear.
Okay, so here's our game plan. We're going to start with what makes an RSSP so powerful, then get into the nitty-gritty of contributions and withdrawals. After that, we'll talk about the big deadline at age 71 and wrap up with how to avoid some expensive mistakes. Let's do this.
All right, first up, let's talk about why we even call the RRSP a power tool. We're going to look at what it actually is, and more importantly, why it's such a game changer for your financial future.
So what is an RRSP, really? Well, the official definition tells you everything you need to know. It's a special savings plan registered with the government, and that registered part gives it two incredible superpowers. Your contributions are tax deductible, and your money grows tax-free until you take it out.
Now let's break down those two powerhouse benefits, because they're huge. On one side, you've got the immediate win, the tax deduction. Think about it. If you put $5,000 into your RRSP, you could potentially get a $1,500 tax refund right away. Boom. Then on the other side, you've got the long-term magic, tax-deferred growth. This means all your investments can grow and compound year after year without getting a haircut from the tax man. It's like a snowball rolling downhill, just getting bigger and bigger, faster and faster.
So the benefits are pretty amazing, right? But the next logical question is, how much can you actually put in? Let's get into the rules and the numbers you need to know. For 2025, this is the big number to be aware of. $32,490. That's the maximum anyone can contribute. But, and this is key, your personal limit is whichever is lower, that big number, or 18% of the income you earned last year.
And as you can see here, this limit isn't set in stone. It actually goes up most years to account for inflation, which is great news. It means your ability to save in this amazing account grows right along with you. Okay, these are the rules you absolutely have to burn into your memory. The deadline, March 3rd, 2025. That's if you want your contribution to count against last year's taxes. The good news, if you don't use up all your contribution room, it just carries forward forever. But here's the most important tip of all. Always, and I mean always, check your personal limit on your CRA My Account. Why? Because if you overcontribute, they'll hit you with a nasty penalty of 1% per month on the extra cash. Trust me, you want to avoid that.
This brings up a question I hear all the time. So, is my money locked up until I retire? Well, not exactly. Let's look at how withdrawals actually work. Here's the most important thing to get your head around. It's the fundamental rule of the RRSP. When you pull money out, it's considered income. That means the amount you withdraw gets added to your other income for the year, and yep, you've got to pay tax on it. It's basically the trade-off for getting that sweet tax deduction when you put the money in. But, and this is a big but, there are some fantastic exceptions built right into the system for major life events. First, just moving your money from one RRSP to another or to a RRIF, that's totally tax-free. And then you have the really popular ones, the home buyer's plan, which lets you borrow from your RRSP for a down payment, and the lifelong learning plan, which lets you do the same to pay for education. These are total game changers. You know, every good story has an ending, and your RRSP is no different. It has a definite lifespan, and it all leads to one single, non-negotiable deadline. Let's talk about what happens when your RRSP has to, well, mature. This timeline really puts the journey into perspective. You can start taking your Canada pension plan as early as 60. 65 is kind of the traditional retirement age for most government benefits, but the date we're zeroing in on right now is age 71. By the end of the calendar year you turn 71, your RRSP, as you know it, must come to an end. It's a hard stop. So what do? You've got three main choices. The most common one by a long shot is to convert your RRSP into a RRIF, a Registered Retirement Income Fund. It's designed to do exactly what it sounds like, pay you a regular income. Your second option is to buy an annuity, which gives you a guaranteed income stream. Or, option 3, you could just cash the whole thing out, but be warned, if you do that, you're looking at a massive tax bill. All right, for our final section, let's talk about how to stay out of trouble. There are a few key rules to know so you don't accidentally make a costly mistake that could lead to some serious taxes or penalties. This is a really important one. See, the government has what they call anti-avoidance rules to make sure people are using RRSPs for retirement savings, not for sneaky tax schemes. Basically, you can't just hold anything you want in there. Things like shares in a private company you control are usually a no-go.
So what's the bottom line here? It's simple. Stick to the basics. Standard investments like stocks, bonds, GICs, ETFs, those are all perfectly fine. But if you try to get fancy and hold a prohibited asset, or fall for some tax-free withdrawal scheme you see online, which are totally illegal by the way, you're going to get hit with some pretty hefty taxes and penalties. It is just not worth the risk.
Okay, let's bring it all home. If you just remember these 4 key things, you'll be in fantastic shape. 1. Deduct your contributions now and defer the taxes on growth. 2. Know your personal contribution limit and do not go over it. 3. Remember that any money you take out is taxed, unless you're using it for the home buyers or lifelong learning plans. And 4. Don't forget that hard deadline at age 71. And there you have it. We've gone through the entire cheat sheet, and now the ball is in your court. The RSSP is an absolutely incredible tool for building wealth for your future, so the only question left is the one on the screen. Are you making the most of yours? Thanks so much for tuning in.